Hello, welcome. This will hopefully be my first video, albeit it is like the 50th time I've tried, but maybe everything is working fine. Honestly, they don't tell you how hard it is to make sure when you set up content creation that everything is functioning. From mic issues to the screenplay looking horrible, it's been rough just for one video. And I don't even have any ideas on what this video is going to be, so I'm just going to rant about topics I feel like deserve ranting about because I see them too often, or because why not? I mean, at the end of the day, I need to check. Okay, I should also have enough battery because I do not really have any good chargers that aren't, well, you know. Anyway, let's continue. I am mostly going to be in the game trying to grind and make my, basically just grind out whatever I can, as I need to get some better mods and whatnot. I need to get Steel Path unlocked, which is the major thing. Oh, my neck hurts. Anyway, first thing I could talk about is a bit about the game. Warframe. It's an amazing game in my opinion. One of the few games I can play without an issue arising, because it's the only game that doesn't need Game Pass out of all of my games, really. Well, tell a lie. There's a couple games that can play that Game Pass, but it's the reason why I didn't pick them is I am absolute ass at all of them, and I don't think people want to watch me just throw myself at a brick wall over and over again in my life just to see if I can make a bit of progress. So we're doing Warframe.
And make the Lotus
Love this game, recent TennoCon event, hence I got the Mesa, because otherwise, you know, I wouldn't have got this. Now, in terms of what I'm going to be doing first, there's a lot I could be doing. The only planet I've got, which is progress towards Steel Path done, is Lua. Out of all of these, you see every little one of these things on the map. I have to fully beat them, and so far it appears that I have completely lacked doing the progression on this game. But then again, I've mostly been farming to get other little things about weapons.
I am having so much
All of my
fun
weapons are bad in a sense. Like this one's from the TennoCon thing, it's pretty decent, but I don't have the stuff to make a build. And for secondaries, I have nothing really. This needs to be sold. I don't know why I have that still. That's good, but like, you know, it's more of a buffing tool. This is probably my best pistol, which shouldn't be because it's a water gun. And that's what I'm going to be talking about, just grinding in the top of this game. Compared to many other games, I'd say that this is probably the most addicting game I've played out of everything, as, you know, I don't have to drop a load of money just to get anything. You can farm everything, they give a lot of free stuff away. It's honestly shocking, really, how much you get. So, when it comes to what I'm going to be doing, we're going to start with finishing a couple of planets off and getting them mastered. At least that's it. First one's Neptune, so let's get started. I'm probably going to do these solo. That's not solo, that's in my own. Yeah, again, I don't have any friends. Actually, tell a lie, I do. The issue is they are all very, very controversial in a sense. But hey, they're like me in the sense of they are all special. Not like good way special, like special.
This is a mobile defense
Except
mission.
I'm more special
You must
because
deliver payloads and defend a number of locations while I break into the network.
Right, let's get started. I don't really know what to rant about. We can talk a bit more about the game. So, compared to a lot of games I've played, Warframe is the funnest one I've ever played. It's the one I've repeated, the one I love going onto every day because, you know, I get to play around as a cool
Drop me in and
war
defend
criminal.
position.
And
I'm
when
in,
it comes to
Lieutenant.
this game, I remember
This will take a moment.
when I first played it, it was like 2016, I was very young, and I just picked up the game. The issue is, the game didn't really give you a sense of direction, so I was just doing whatever I could on like the planets I had, because I didn't know about story missions and whatnot. Oh, I almost just rolled off the edge, that's not good. But basically, when I played this game the first time, I didn't know that there was a story, I didn't know how to progress to Mars. I was stuck with 3 planets because I couldn't figure out for the life of me what I had to do to get to Mars. I then stopped playing the game, and until I think I came back to this game in 2023 seemed like the memorable time. And this was just genuinely because I couldn't really do much.
We are finished here. Move on.
And like surprisingly, out of all of the games I was playing during this time, the one that I got addicted to was the most odd ones and whatnot. And Warframe was the only game I could really see myself wanting to play more than more because genuinely I think this game probably amazing. Like when it comes to many other games I've seen, there's not really a toxic community. You don't really see that many toxic players. It's rarer to find a toxic player in this game's community than it is to find someone in like, well, any other gaming community. Frankly, another reason why I played it, because the one thing I couldn't do well in games is play. So obviously, because I was absolutely trash and so on, I just couldn't do anything. And so because of that, I'd obviously get a lot of hate talk. Oh my god, why am I dying so quickly? Yet again, I should have put adaptation, not long guard.
Still working on it. Continue to defend.
But you see, like, when it comes to Warframe, it's probably the easiest thing to get into in a sense. Massive community, very kind community. They won't call you slurs every 10 seconds for making these smallest mistakes that, quite frankly, I don't understand how they expect me to play perfectly like with like the lowest level. Like, you think people would have the common sense in a lot of games to understand that if I ain't a high level, I obviously don't know about all this advanced techniques and all that. But apparently these people have nothing better in their lives, so they just start flaming all these people that just want to play the game because, you know, oh, you shouldn't play the game if you don't know every technique and whatnot. And that's what I think ruins a lot of games. You can't really start, because when you start you just get a bunch of hate for no reason. And that's what really affects some games. And then a lot of games have a ridiculously high skill ceiling to the point that getting to play a good match where you can improve is ridiculous.
Get me in and
like,
get ready to defend.
I remember my friends, I don't like playing games like Call of Duty and Fortnite, because I genuinely think that Fortnite's a game that just relies on collaboration after collaboration, as it can't keep its own substance by itself. So it keeps collabing, it keeps doing new collabs every so often, And the issue when your game relies on collaboration after collaboration, once you run out of collaborations, you have nothing to do. And honestly, the issue with collaborations as well is you pay a lot more money in a sense. It's more expensive to get content that already exists than to get original content.
Continue to defend.
So, when you look at a big company like Epic Games and whatnot, and the whole thing behind Fortnite, you have to question how they get so much money. And the answer is scamming little children, because that's the only way they can get money. And you see, that's kind of the thing about free games. A lot of free games make their a lot of free games have to make their money off microtransactions and whatnot, but the issue with that is it can be quite a pain.
The odds were against us, Tenno, but we did it.
And you see, like, what makes Warframe able to stand up is you don't need to grind. No, that's not right. You don't need to spend money so off. As I'm saying before I keep dropping everything, you don't need to spend money to unlock stuff. If you want, you can trade for it, and trading's a very easy thing to get into, hence how I get a lot of my primes and whatnot.
Excellent work, Tenno.
And another thing as well that you can do is just earn it yourself. Obviously, sometimes you learn that, you know, earning it yourself is quite impossible, but it also then stops you from just paying to get the best gear as well. As that's one thing I like about this game. You can't really pay to win. You can get primes and whatnot for lots of money, but they're not good if you don't have the right mods. And that's what I like about this game compared to other games. You can earn your stuff through grinding, but the grinds aren't ridiculous. I remember I was playing this one game, I can't recall the name of it for the life of me, but every second I fucking, like, done something, there was a grind that followed, and honestly, I don't understand how you can have a game be so grind heavy to the point where if you want to even get the simplest of required stuff, you have to give away hours. If there is one complaint I have about this game, it's the grind of standing. The one thing I don't like is the standing cap. Not for these syndicates. The standing cap for these syndicates makes sense. It's things like these syndicates. The issue I have is if I want to get Gyromag stuff, if I want to get the profit taker missions for, you know, to not go into crippling bankruptcy every time I want to upgrade one thing to max, if I can even afford it because of Endo and all that, I have to get this up to rank 5. The issue is the standing cap tells me that I'm a horrible person and I should take all my hopes and dreams and shove them so far up my... But basically, when you only get 20,000 a day, it takes 5 days to get... I done the math. It would take me around 5 days, or 5 standing caps, and this is if I was to completely empty the standing cap. It would take around 5 days for me to get to Old May. But you know what's, the one thing I hate more than that is these, I hate vent kids, I absolutely despise them. At least with this one, I can earn the standing with ease, it's not a royal pain. And I can earn more things, I can get IN and I can use that IF for platinum and all that stuff. This, however, these, there's no point for them. The only reason you grind out these is for the compressor, and I wouldn't even tell you to get it, just get the prime version of it. Like, I'm kind of against the whole idea of getting something before you get the base variant, but sometimes you just, I'd rather not. Like, Equinox, I remember looking at the Equinox build. Why must it take a minimum of 6 days to make Equinox? This is if you have every blueprint beforehand. If you don't have every blueprint beforehand, you have to fucking craft each part individually, and it can take more than 6 days and 12 hours. And like, the one thing that many people might complain about is the start right. They say that newcomers don't really have a sense of direction and whatnot, and I could see that, right, but when you follow the story, you can actually make progress. And another thing that many people get angry at is they have to earn the stuff, but here's my thing. Everyone wants to get a new Warframe, but sometimes they shoot too high and don't understand that, you know, you can't really get your Warframe.
Marking the first dig site.
You can't get a Warframe that requires you to get to the end of the storyline and then complain that, you know, that you have to do, like, it tells you how to do it, tells you what missions you have to do it. And like, to be honest, right, I see why that can be hated, but on the other hand, it's also to prepare you to get the resources. Obviously, let's say I could get Sirius and Orion. You would need a railjack, you would need, my god.
The excavator is ready to go. Use
I guess this is what they call them new frames. This is kind of like my first experience with the beginner. Volts, interesting choice. I have to quickly get over and pick him up. That was by the skin of my teeth.
Find another fuel cell and take it to the excavator.
Just give that a little clearing, grab that power cell. Starting this game, you'll meet people, you'll see people like that Volts. He's probably a new player, level 4, all that. And there's nothing wrong with being new. Being new can also be quite hard, because unless you know what to do, the movement tech and all that, you're not going to have really the greatest advantage.
Additional fuel.
But then again, I say he's a newcomer, and this is Neptune, so he can't be that new.
An artifact has been located. Proceed.
They think it's the new Warframe. Whenever you get a new Warframe, this one's going to be quite weak, so I can understand why he went down and all that. I was thinking this was Venus, but then I remembered that I was finishing off Neptune.
Excavator
so
is ready
yeah.
to go. Keep it powered and protected from enemy
I need
fire.
something new to rant about now. Streaming University, or whatever it's called. Streaming University, I mean. I don't know why I said whatever it's called, I know what it's called. Streaming University is an odd one, because the way how I see it, people are so hyped up for this event, this thing, but like, you're not gonna get into it because you gotta remember, right, this is like winning the lottery here. While you could get it, it's also ridiculously unlikely due to the fact that, you know, there's people all around the world doing this application stuff, and then there's also the other issue of, is it really worth it? Like, I've seen people getting angry over it and whatnot, but what do these people expect, right? Like, I could tell you now, they'll get popular, but afterwards, they're gonna be forgotten. Take the first SU, right? The first Streamers University, I couldn't name you a single streamer that was very small, and then, you know, blew up because of it. I couldn't name you one. And that's because people don't watch Streamer University to meet new streamers. They watch it because their favourite streamer or the big streamer does it for them. This game is a bit buggy. I think it might be the network thing. Why am I still in my
Excavation
ultimate?
complete. Look what we found. Extraction available. You may leave now or continue excavating artifacts. The choice is
What
yours.
the fuck? What am I supposed to do, fam? There we go.
Excavator
But you see,
deployed.
I'll tell you
Protect
now, the
you while
issue
it
I
extracts the
personally
artifact.
have with the idea of Streamers University
The
is
scanner
it's
has locked up the
nothing
target.
but a
Go to the
charity
dig
stunt
site.
to get more attention to someone who, quite frankly, don't
Excavator is
really
ready to
need
go.
more
Keep it
attention.
powered and protect it
Considering
from
he's
enemy
been in
fire.
a couple of controversies,
Look for power
which
carrier
many
flares.
people who go into
Strike them
controversy
down.
typically
Bring
don't
themselves back to the
tend to,
excavators.
how do I put it? A lot of people who go to controversies, a lot of streamers that go to controversies, they tend to not be
The
able
excavator has lost
to
power.
make it
Find
out
another
of said
cell and bring it
controversy,
to
and
the
then they are, you know,
excavator.
basically forgotten or remembered only by cruel words. And you see, that's kind of the thing that you also got to keep in mind. He's been in controversies, and a lot of them were also around Streamers University. Coincidence? Well, no, it's not coincidence. You see, the idea of a second one, it's the idea, like, it could only get worse. Like, I remember the first controversy, which was a lot of the people there were friends and whatnot, which, it's a pretty big thing to, like, you know, host an event saying random people will be able to get popular and only putting, like, 80% of them as your friends and the other 20% as people that everyone's going to forget. Now the second one, I don't know if he's also going to do the same stuff like that, but he very much could be doing the same stuff and whatnot, and he very much could be, you know, he very much could be just setting himself up for a bigger controversy, because the issue with events like this is you have the issue that, you know, people will inspect to make sure there's no foul play. As foul play is what nobody likes. Imagine thinking that you had a chance when you didn't even have a chance in 1,000 years. And you see the issue with that, right? That's what I think it's a bad idea. It's good, but it's not going to really do anything. All the people that do the streaming stuff are going to be forgotten. You're just going to get popular, and then you're also going to get more people getting controversies on you. Because quite frankly put it, there's nothing but controversy in these kinds of things. Because the idea that you'll pick random people up, random streamers with dreams and ambitions, and then put them to the test, it seems stupid. And call me like a hater, call me all the things that you could think of, but I just think that there is foul play behind this one. I don't know why. Maybe it's just me being naturally skeptical of everything, which you should never trust anyone, or I don't trust anyone for a whole different reason, very personal, not going into it. But you see, right, I just don't trust this whole thing because it seems more like, you know, a stunt that people do to look better to an audience than it does seem like actual generosity. And then the other thing is it really something we should be celebrating to him about? I mean, like, think about it for a second. Is it really going to change these small streamers' lives? Maybe. But the issue is, it's going to cause more problems, because the only way these small streamers could be recognised and actually have a chance at being remembered after the event is to do something massively controversial.
Stay focused. There's a heavy
That's
unit
not
approaching.
something that should be, like, call me, like, I'm just gonna say now, I bet that there will be someone at this SU that does something massively controversial in a hope for fame, and everyone's gonna remember him, but not for the right reasons. And the issue is, right, that's the issue I see a lot of. A lot of people getting encouraged when they really shouldn't be encouraged for the life of anybody. Like, take someone like Rakai. Rakai has went popular because of, well, what do you know, more controversy. Isn't that a shocker? The man known for being, well, I'd say, man, the boy known for being extremely controversial has put himself in more controversy. It's like finding butter in a butter jar or something like that. What else could you expect? You see, the issue as well with Kai, and I feel like there are multiple contributing factors to what makes him really bad of a person. One is his genuine stupidity, as many people noticed that he had skipped to some of his school, which you never should skip school, otherwise you become unintelligent and like a Neanderthal in the terms of Kai. Now, Kai probably wouldn't even know what the term Neanderthal would be if he had a dictionary in front of him, probably wouldn't even know what a fucking dictionary is, but that's just me, you know, trying to use words that I can think of that people can understand, you know, people that went to school. Now, do I hate Kai? Yes. Because he's just a walking stereotype, like, he is a walking racial stereotype. He is practically a modern day minstrel show. And if you don't know what a minstrel show is, I'm not going to tell you because I can't be arsed, that's a whole other topic. But the general premise of a minstrel show is, what do you know, putting black people in a negative light. And a lot of minstrel actors were white people that did it.
Stay focused. There's a heavy unit.
But there were also some black ones, and some of them did it just so they could stand a chance in the industry, and then some of them do it for just the sake of it at that point. And Makai's doing it because he's a dumbass and doesn't even know that he's being used like that. Like, I'll tell you now, and I'll tell you clear as day. Once Makai gets old enough, once he gets old enough to the point where, you know, all of his antics start taking more bigger legal troubles, and eventually he fades into irrelevancy because it's just watching a grown man throwing his life away. It gets to the point where, what will he do when he fades away? What will you do when you have been faded away and are only known for horrible things? I'll tell you what you can do. Nothing! Once you have got a bad name for yourself because of you just being a genuinely horrible person, you have no future. You only have a past, and that past is not good, which is the issue. And the good parts of that past are either forgotten, unknown, or just completely lost to the world. And that's what makes it a massive issue for what Makai is doing. Because let's say, next morning, all of his fame, all of his popularity vanishes. What will he do with his life? Because getting a job's kind of out of the question, right? Like, extremely out of the question. Because when you act like a clown, when you have a bunch of crimes and, you know, like, didn't he scam people at one point with the charity scam? Yeah, you see, that's something that makes it so that no one will hire you. And Makai's the kind of person that I guarantee you, when he doesn't get hired, he'll play the "they don't hire me because of my race." I think it's stupid that people get rejected because of their race, and I'll admit that. But sometimes the stupid people that say, "Oh, they won't hire me because of my race," don't understand that they're not hiring Makai because he's black. They're not hiring him because well, he's a fucking, you know, genuine dickhead. Like, I'll tell you with all of my heart, he can't really play a race card or anything anymore when it comes to when he fails, because he will inevitably become irrelevant, and considering how, you know, immature he is, he'll lose all of his money within like a day or two after his fame, maybe a month if he's really improved. But you see, it's either he starts changing his life and fades away a bit but still remains somewhat known, or he just keeps going down the path he is, and then that fading of unknown will hit harder. And you see, that's just my issue with some of these people, right? How can you act like a fool and know that after you slither away, you're only known as that kid that scammed people, that kid that said this, that kid that did that and whatnot. I don't understand how people throw their life away because they think, oh, nothing can touch me. Fame is nothing in this world. Sure, people recognize you, but is fame really that worth it? I mean, when it comes to fame is a odd piece in a sense. Fame can be amazing, but it's also horrible. Imagine this, imagine you're famous. Every aspect of your life is loved, except the issue people don't talk about is fame is horrible. Do you know why a lot of famous people who are famous tell you that they probably wouldn't fucking want to be famous? Well, not a lot, but let me tell you why I don't think a lot of these people do want to stay famous. Imagine every aspect of your life to be down of what you do, what you act, what you say for a millisecond. Every single action will be used against you in some way, shape or form. And that's the issue. Fame comes with love and it comes with hate. It is an abusive relationship on the person. Because on one hand, they're sweet, they act sweet and whatnot, and on the other hand, they start beating you, right? And that's what basically famous. And then some people let fame take control of them, and I don't understand that. How do you lose your composure with fame and start acting like a fool? If anything, you should become more careful and more smarter with fame, as the last thing you want to do is lose everything or be remembered as a horrible human being and whatnot. But I digress about this because at the end of the day, there's nothing you can do to stop these people. You can only watch.
The system continues to fall into chaos.
On one hand,
Check navigation for active invasions.
Sense. On the other hand, it's just sad watching someone throwing their life away because they've been encouraged too much. In fact, this is another issue people don't understand. A lot of people who tell you that you shouldn't put pressure or you shouldn't encourage bad acts are these same people that will encourage people like Rikai, like Neon at his time, and so on, to be a stupid, horrible person. And then they wonder why this person is stupid and horrible when quite literally you made them that. And then you'll blame others, and that's what I hate, right? You can't ruin someone's life by basically making them a living laughing stock. Even jesters got treated better than some of these people, because at least the jesters were treated like human beings and not something you just point and laugh at. They actually had conversations with people. Shocker, you know, the fucking jesters were treated better than a lot of modern day humans, realistically. The only difference between a jester and someone like Rikai is one would be allowed to, you know, one would be actually liked. Even if they make a mockery of someone, they'd still be liked. The other one is Rikai. But another thing I can now jump to, because we're just going to change the subject. Music. Music is one thing I love. I love music with all my heart. It's something I love playing it. I've been playing the guitar for some years now. Only 2 years actually, and to be honest, the only reason why I started playing guitar was not because it interested me. It was part that I mostly started playing out of pure spite for this other kid. He was like slightly younger than me in a sense. He was 1 year younger than me. He was playing the guitar before me, I was playing the piano, then I went to the ukulele, but it was the keyboard really. I went to the ukulele, it was a performance, I watched him play, and I decided, you know what, I'm learning the guitar and I'm being better than him. I'm still playing, he's doing drums now, I think that's a win in my books, but realistically, if I didn't have that active spite, I wouldn't be playing guitar or doing music realistically. I wanted to be like a fucking developer or something, content creator, or not content creator, I wanted to be like a game dev or something like that, but now I'm fucking thinking of music and whatnot. But one thing I will tell you with all of my heart is I believe that the main issue people don't see with some certain people and whatnot, what's the word I'm looking for? The issue I have is prejudice, in my honest opinion. Something about prejudging someone, it seems wrong in a sense, but I understand why it's also important. There's two sides of this coin. One side, people use prejudice to kind of, people use prejudice to kind of get an idea of someone before they go along with them, and then other people use it just to discriminate. And then there's the idea of discrimination. How can you hate someone you just met because of a label put on them? Like, it seems a bit stupid, does it not? I mean, don't you think it's more effort to try and actively be homophobic to someone you've just met because they're gay, instead of knowing them and then trying to be it? Shocker, really. And I don't understand it, right? How do you hate someone because, oh, this person who's done absolutely nothing to my life, I hate them because of something that really doesn't affect me. Oh, I hate this person because they're gay and, that's it. Why do you have so much hate in your body for someone that literally doesn't affect you? Like, if he's not hitting on you, if he's not doing these odd things, then there's no real way to hate him.
And use their reactant to open a relic.
And honestly, I just need to know how. How do you be racist? How do you be transphobic and you quite literally just meet someone? Like, it seems stupid, right? I mean, you can't tell me that there's a valid reason. Like, I would want someone to explain to me what there is to hate about me, and they just met me. Like, you can't just hate for no reason, because then that's not hating, that's just being immature, in a sense. Like, and then what I hate, right, more about these people is, like, it seems like, wouldn't you just not want to have the effort and the argument? Like, at the end of the day, you arguing with someone that's gay or trans or a different race than you, like black, Asian, white, or so on, it's not going to do anything for the community. That one person might feel bad or feel indifferent, sometimes doesn't even do anything. And, like, it gets to the point, right, where, like, it's just a waste. Like, could you not just, like, keep it to yourself, right? Like, you're not hurting anyone, realistically, and they're not gonna remember who you are. And, like, you see, like, I never understand excuses for this, excuses for that. It's just... But I digress. Anyway, back to the topic I was mentioning, music. I think that a lot of modern music, I don't want to sound like some old person, but I feel like modern music has lost what makes it stand out, which is being different. The amount of pop songs I hear that are so different and so similar, with the only difference being the vocals, it don't make sense to me. Like, I mean, it's kind of like stupid in a sense. Like, no wonder people are complaining about modern songs. Imagine listening to a song that is the same rhythm recycled over just a different person. And then there's the common archetypes you hear on the radio. And it's always songs like this. You have songs about women, songs about exes and so on, and it's like, oh my god. I especially don't understand the song about exes, like, why did you make a song about your ex? It's not anyone's fault but your own for spreading your legs wider than the Grand Canyon for a man you know damn well ain't gonna do anything but living your life. And like, you look at artists like Taylor Swift, I don't know how many breakup songs she has, but it's probably quite a lot considering, is she on a 6th boyfriend or something now? It's just absurd in my opinion. Like, And like at her age, I'd say it's quite like weird to hear a woman that's this old to talk about boys. Like I'd expect a teenage girl or a young adult to talk about boys, but not someone that's like 35, 42. I don't fucking know. I don't give a fuck about that. But like, it don't make sense to me. Like, you have grown men talking about young girls or talking about girls in general, singing sad songs about how they got rejected and so on. They're rejecting you because I would fucking reject them if I were a woman and they were just gonna fucking... Like, it gets boring, does it not? I mean, like... How about singing about your own life story, right? Like, you know, fucking something interesting. Singing about what you believe in, you know.
Looks like you could use a
making different rhythms, also another fun thing, you know. And like, that's just something I just don't understand about music. Like, I love music, like, I love metal, I love rock, I love micro pop, I love all sorts of weird things and so on. But I don't like pop really, not modern pop at least, because the issue is it's just so similar that it just gets boring. It drives me, it's like getting a drill slowly in and out of your skull at the same spot over and over again. And that's just listening to the same rhythm.
No need to be a hero on my account.
And like, you see, right, if you want to have a good song, you've got to have either one of two things. A unique and quite skilled rhythm, or a great topic to talk about. Some of them don't have fucking either. Like, do you know how insane it is to hear the same rhythm over and over again? Like, you see, right, you think that maybe someone would make something different, but nope. Been the same kind of rhythm for how long? Another thing I just can't understand is K-pop. Especially like a lot of the Asian pop genres, K-pop, fucking J-pop or whatever it's called. But specifically K-pop actually, well not think I don't know any K-pop, so we're just gonna say K-pop. K-pop also have very big fans, and it's for both sides, which is shocking. Like, typically, only one side of the gender spectrum when it comes to fans is well known for being creepy. Like, pop artists, most of the female pop artists talk about creepy male fans and whatnot, and never really any female fans, and so on. But with K-pop, they don't discriminate there, it's both genders. Well, saying they don't discriminate is quite hilarious, considering how they're also known for some of the artists being enforcing racial stereotypes, you know, by acting or dressing like a certain minority, like specifically black people, African American, African, basically anything that's slightly darker than them. They just, well, anything that's darker than them, they just discriminate. It's like, the thing is, right, many people say, oh, they don't mean the racial things. How the fuck would you know, first off? And second off, the Asian countries haven't been known for being the most inclusive to other races in a sense. Yet again, it has changed, but they still have that stereotype around them that they're not that inclusive. It's good in a sense, but also bad in a sense, because not changing for another race or another culture means you still have your own culture, but not accepting new people in because of their culture is quite wrong, don't you think? But hey, maybe that was just the past. Maybe they're not doing all the way. Like, you see, like, when you look at many things, like, I'll tell you now, when you look at many of the modern genres, and I know this sounds so annoying to hear modern, but like, there's no way to describe it. I feel like music is dead, and it's not every artist, it's most. There are some rare gems in the modern industry scene that are actually good and fun to listen to. because they decide to put their own twist. However, you have to find them, and some of them are right in your face and some of them aren't. I'm not naming names because, you know, I just can't be arsed. I also can't be asked for a lot of things because I have taken 3 tablets of melatonin at 6 grams and I still ain't tired. Maybe it's like 34 degrees and I live in a European home, which means it's hotter than the devil's ass crack, but you know, that's just me. What? Anything else I can talk about, since I still have to go for like around an hour for like an hour of ranting, and so I guess I just jump on. I don't know really. I don't want to talk about politics because at the end of the day, politics, you just don't want to talk about politics ever. It's not fun to talk about them, not fun to look at them, not fun to listen to them. I just don't like politics in general because genuinely, I don't want to hear a bunch of people that don't live a day of life of struggle tell the struggling people what they can and can't do. Like, it seems wrong in a sense, but no one's going to look at that because everyone's too blinded by, oh, this side doesn't believe in my views, therefore they're wrong. Like, you see, right, if I wanted to look at a bunch of rich assholes scrapping on the telly about the poor, I would just watch the news about politics and whatnot. Especially in Britain, I don't understand what they think they're doing, but I don't want to live in 1986 and have to keep sending identification for everything. I understand the thing on pornography and whatnot, I understand that thing, because at the end of the day, it is damaging to a child's mind, but I feel like asking for a driver license to watch 2 people getting it on is a bit wrong in a sense of like, why would I want that? Like, they're already throwing their life away and you want them to tell them who you are? Like, it seems wrong, and it is wrong. And what I don't understand is they say they're doing this to protect the children with quotation marks. I didn't get any protection when I was a child, hence why I'm mentally insane and getting tested for psychosis. Because they didn't protect me as a child, and they say, right, they want to protect the children from all this inappropriate stuff and keep their minds, you know, young. If you want to protect the children, how about, you know, the PDFs that walk around the street, how about you put them in jail? Like, call me a madman or something, but is the death penalty really that bad? I mean, I get it's wrong to take a human life, but can they really be considered human? Like, on one hand, there's the argument that they made a mistake, but a normal person doesn't make that mistake, especially when the child's typically like 12 years old and whatnot. Like, you can't really make a mistake like that. They don't look like an adult, and they definitely ain't an adult. Like, if you want to protect the children, stop fucking spying on the people and you know, fucking do something. Like, you can't tell me that it's protecting the children when, you know, the biggest issue's not just, you know, like, you can't tell me, like, the only issue is adult content. That's not the only issue. Sure, adult content has irreversible effects on the human mind. You know what else has these same effects, shockingly? Brain-rotted content. Yeah, the same brain rot your child watches has the same effect of watching pornography. I don't even understand, because you wanna know why I say it's got the same effect? The same effect of a warped reality, but most importantly, the very similar effect of damaged dopamine receptors. You know why it's called brain rot? Because it rots your intelligence span to be so ass that you wouldn't even remember you would not even have the memory of a goldfish, because at least a goldfish could remember for a couple of seconds. And what I don't understand why, do you want to know what looks like the most adult content ever? Children content, not all, but some. It's genuinely just fetishism disguised as children content. Like, just because you put bright colours on everything doesn't mean it's not a fetish, it just means that it's fucking bright coloured fetishes. And common fetishes, the common fetishes the children watch are the most disgusting ones. You know, about human excrement and whatnot. Why is that being pushed towards children? It shouldn't be something that should be, nor should it be indulged by any child. Let alone at such a young age.
That's it. You opened the relic. Finish your mission and we'll take a look inside.
Oh no, it happened again. Oh wait, I forgot, I can't be singing stuff like that. I'm going, you know, I thought I'm losing the plot. I definitely am. Hence why, you know, I'm being tested for all these different illnesses. But, you know. But you see, I just don't understand why about kids content in general. And you know what's mad why? YouTube, the big tyrants. While it's great in a sense, I don't understand the idea of what you can and can't post, considering the fact the platform is separated. You're also considering the fact that when you talk about kids content, it will get you demonetized. If you show what the kids content is, it will get you demonetized. I don't understand that logic. How will it demonetize the person showing it and not the person who made the thing? Like, you can't have two sides of one coin be the same, right? Apparently, like, it just don't make sense to me. Imagine trying to talk about the genuine fetishism that children are being told to watch by YouTube, and then when you talk about it, they just take down your video because, let's be real, the only reason why YouTubers are doing things is because no one's saying anything, and that should realistically change. The idea that a lot of kids content just contains, quite frankly, abhorrent fetishes is insane to me. Not subtle fetishes, not well, you wouldn't say a fetish is normal now, would you? But what I tell you is this. YouTube needs to do a better moderation understanding, you know, what's kids content and what's softcore porn, right? Because, like, you can't have both sides be horrible, like. The fact is, I've seen many people talk about kids content in the past, and they have to be careful of what they show and whatnot, because if they show it, it's wrong. How? And then I don't understand the whole idea of, like, I understand the idea of, like, some of the rules that you don't have just, you know, adult content on your streaming site, but how is it the categories are separated, but you can't swear too much, otherwise, you know, if you swear too much, that's a big no-no, and, well, what do you know, that gets you fucking, you know, demonetized and whatnot. How? It's meant to be adult content, and you're trying to tell me that I can't swear when the only real people that will be watching my stuff is adults. Do you see the massive flaw in that? You have a separate kids platform. It's stupid. I see the vision, but I also think that they are just shoving something up my ass to make sure I can't see it straight. Because genuinely, you can't claim that you separated the platform for kids content and adult content and then still not allow adult content. Well, not like full for adult content, you know, like with, you know, all the magic that happens. I feel like it's a bit odd as well in general to just have a separate like kids website and not use it. It's stupid, it's wrong, it's flawed, and genuinely I feel as if kids content is so disturbing that, like, the thing is though, right, I don't understand the kids content creators, right. These people know what they're making, they know they're a part of the problem, and they still do it. And it makes me question, were they loved as a child, or did their mother go out in the streets at night and spread wider than the Grand Canyon's gap? Because genuinely, that's the only way I could see being so disgustingly foul and claiming it's for children. Because a lot of it's just fetish or slop, right, and it just doesn't make sense to me. The fact that if I was to go on YouTube Kids, I'd either see the kind of fetishes that you see on the dark side of the internet, or see something that is so brain-rotting that I would rather have a lobotomy, because at least that gives me some semblance of a mind. In fact, sometimes I look at what my little sister watches, and I question why. Would I rather be forced to sit in a room and watch that kind of content for an hour straight? Or would I rather get a drill bit and try and give myself a lobotomy? And sometimes, actually no, every time I think of, the magic button in my brain. Also, one thing I want to say about Warframe, you can kind of tell who's watched the stream or not, because look at all these fucking messes, right? But anyway, back to my complaint about the kids content with quotation marks. The fact is it's not kids content, it's borderline fetishism. I'll tell you now, kids content is typically meant to be somewhat stimulating and educational, not completely overstimulating to the point it destroys your brain. And there's literal medical studies saying how it destroys your brain, bright colours, loud sounds, consistent random sounds, and so on, all cause overstimulation, and that leads to typically stuff like ADHD. Some people are born with ADHD, and then sometimes they just get their brain rotted and then they have ADHD, and that's just how it goes. But the fact that the second one is more common with a lot of generations, it's just... I just don't know what to say really without sounding like I'm complaining about everything. There's some good in the world, but it's kind of hard to see all the good when, a massive warship has just put a fucking 120mm cannon round into your chest, right? And in my honest opinion, fully honest, I think there's just a lot of the stuff. Like, AI is a big thing, right? And I feel like AI is what's caused every problem, but it also can cause advances. Let's get this straight. AI isn't just necessarily the pure slop you see getting generated for £5 an hour. Not even £5, £1 a day. And like the thing is, alright, AI, it's a great way to enhance, but when you use it for everything, especially at the time, like, you can't say AI is the future when it can't even,
Stand by while
think properly.
the intelligence profiles of the Grineer.
Like, AI could be the future, but I don't think you'd use AI to remove all the joy and humanity out of everything. Like, AI music, AI content, it removes the one thing that makes it watchable for people, which is humanity. Like, the only way you would enjoy AI content is if you're genuinely, mentally challenged to a concerning degree. or if you're very young, which is why it's considered kids content, why they target the children. And quite frankly, I don't understand why big companies use AI when they know damn well it only pushes away people. Oh, it saves money. You're a multi-million dollar company, and you're complaining about money. Fucker, you don't need to worry about money. Think of the indie studios, right? They make all their games, well, some of them have been using AI, but we can just ignore them because they're not really indie companies, they're just lazy people, or just dickheads. But these indie companies, they don't have any money, they've got to worry about being bankrupt every 10 seconds of every day. They've got to worry about deadlines more than the big company. The big company made a mistake, oh, we'll just push the game a bit farther back. The players won't mind, they'll still wait, hence why GTA 6 took like 10 years and got delayed when it was near finished again. And basically that's just kind of the issue that these companies don't see, right? It's greed. It's pure sickening greed, and I don't understand how one can be so greedy when you literally have enough money to probably fix a fucking massive country like Africa. You see, let's also talk about, countries like Africa. I feel like countries like Africa are heavily misrepresented because, are they really struggling? Some parts, yes, but you putting little ads saying to donate money when I know full well that donated money is not going to them children, it's going in your back pocket. It like, bro, some people have tried to make impact, but like, when it comes to the idea of content creation, a lot of it is performative, and they usually go to Africa. Why just Africa? Other places are in poverty too. Like, take Mr. Beast, right? Even the fucking stuff for Africa, built wells and all that. He's got a lot of controversy around him because, that whole water thing, and then there's no proof that the water was given to the people and whatnot. So, But it seems a bit like odd, right, how a lot of content has become performative. When you look at people like Mr. Beast, he went from being a genuine, generous person to doing all these stunts and basically seeing how many references, how many people he could draw in, and hence why he's made so many bad decisions, like, or even thinking of hanging out with someone like Logan Paul. I can't remember which one of the Paul brothers, like, I'm pretty sure both of the Paul brothers were quite horrible people. The one with the Japan incident, and then like, everything with the other one or something, I don't remember which one did which, because to be honest, they're both extremely controversial. That like, do I even have to pick one? I can just do both at the same time, really. And like, you see, like, I feel like the massive issue with such it's okay to make performative content in the sense of if it's not trying to make yourself look like a savior of the people, or, not trying to make you look like you're above anybody else, but when you do stuff like what Mr. Beast does, where he acts like he's saving people's lives, when realistically, is he? The only reason we don't hear about the people that have gotten the money is because they fade away and no one checks on them. And so, is he really saving lives, or is he just performing the Lord? Is he just performing the act of a saviour? So, I just have to, further go on all my points, but, it seems odd to me, very odd to me, about the idea of, you see, it's just hard to describe this, when I look at a lot of things in the world, there's just so many bad things, and, people do talk about them, but I don't think they talk about the massive issues that these people cause. Like Rakai, for example, I'm going to go back to him. Rakai encourages negative stereotypes, encourages discrimination against him and people like him. Because he's that unlikable that the people that already didn't like his community don't like his kinds of people anymore. And when I mean his kind, I mean they don't like we know the world's got a bunch of racists in it. Even when people say they're not racist, they do all the subtle things. Like, it's not inherently racist, but it's always the prejudice thing. Like, they'll be walking down the street, and as soon as they come across an African American, they start clutching their bagpipes and whatnot. There's nothing wrong with that, because obviously some of these people, they just can't seem to shake prejudice. But I'm not saying that I'm perfect as well. Like, obviously I've done horrible things, but the difference is they're not really that horrible in a sense, and they don't really... How do I put it right? I've done bad things. I'll admit I've done bad things. I know they were bad, and I wish I didn't do them, but I know I can't do anything about it, because, well, the past is the past, and it's already engraved in the past, so, you know, I kind of have to fucking deal with it. I think the melatonin's hitting right now, what the... But you see, I'll tell you now, I might round up this thing because I'm getting like ridiculously tired. But I will tell you now, I'm going to round this off by saying if anybody watches this, I hope you enjoy, I hope I said some things that maybe you wanted to say at some point or wanted someone to address. I pray I can actually post this, so if you do watch this on anything after the fact, I'll be quite impressed. But that is going to round off this stream and video. I hope that you catch me next time. I stream in the middle of the night or whenever I feel like it, because I don't really have any reason to make a schedule. But I hope you enjoy, I hope you can actually see this, and that is going to end it for me.